What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Today, my guest wears spandex and posts this up on Instagram just for a laugh. We'll find out why in just a bit. Welcome back. How are you guys doing? I'm pretty sure you guys are still stuck at home. If you're not stuck at home, what the heck are you doing out, man? Yeah, just like a couple of days ago, I was reading an article about someone who basically got kena saman because they brought their mums to go and do groceries and kind of backfired when she was complaining about the compounds because people said that, hey, you know what? SOP says that you need to go out alone. So you know what? As long as we do our part, hopefully everything will get better, okay? Today, my guest, you know what? I've been following this guy on Instagram. I think it's hella funny. Sometimes the things he does, he gets away with it because he's got an amazing body. I wish I had that amazing body. But the story of how I got to know this guy, obviously, is through a friend who used to be, in the radio industry. Her name is Magdalene Wang. She was on the show before. This is Magdalene's boyfriend. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Jobroseph, a.k.a. Joseph Lee, on the show. What's up?
Hey guys, what's up? How are you, man?
I'm good. I'm hanging in there.
Like we all are.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
When you have a 2-year-old kid at home trying to ask you 1,000,001 questions. Mommy, where do babies come from? You know what I mean? Mommy, what's sex?
That is the best questions, all right?
Yeah. But I think okay lah. Everything is okay so far. I know like this year has been some sort of like everybody, when you go online these days, right? Do you realize that everything is like kind of like a downer? Everybody's like angry. There's always like a lot of people posting angry stuff. There's nothing fun online anymore.
Exactly, man. Going through your stories and stuff like that, bro. It's just like cases after cases. Am I allowed to say police and the stuff they do?
Yeah, well, I know they are. Apparently, there are certain stories about that, but we wouldn't want to get into that because I scared later the police come in and bring us out go makan, and minum and stuff like that, But yeah, it's really some crazy times that's happening out that's going on out there, and look, man, when people keep saying that, don't worry, it'll get better, it's starting to sound like a broken record because everybody tends to always want to ask, when is it gonna get better?
We've been like on a lockdown. This is probably the longest one yet. Not the longest one. I think the first one was a little bit longer, like 3 months, I think.
Yeah.
This is the most depressing one yet because again, bro, 1 month, but the cases are increasing daily.
Yeah.
Daily we see 5,000-6,000. Today it was 7,000,
Yeah.
I can understand the depression. It is so depressing sometimes.
Yeah, but just rewind back a bit, for the benefit of our listeners who are tuning in today. And I know Joseph I've known Joseph for a while. Actually, to be honest, how I know about Joseph is obviously I knew that you were dating Magdalene Wang.
Magdalene Wang.
The Magdalene Wang, who was a radio announcer on Fly FM. And then somehow or rather, I had to go way back even before you started dating Magdalene Wang because apparently you used to intern in Universal Music.
You know what? I actually met, I don't know where you know Phoebe.
Yeah.
So, you probably know Phoebe, right? Oh my God, it's Brendan's wife anyway. But like around that time when I was interning there, I was already with Maggie.
Oh, you're already with Maggie. So yeah.
Yes.
Because like my wife knew who you were, and for me it's like, oh, inferiority complex bastard. This fella damn tall, got a nice body. And then after she said, yeah, this is my intern, quite a good looking one. I looked at him like, yeah. So that's how I know Joseph.
Was Michelle in when I was interning?
No, you weren't. No. I mean, but we still kept in touch with some of our friends who worked in Universal Music at that point in time. And a lot of the girls over there used to talk a lot about you. So that's how I got to know about the name Joseph.
It's not shit.
It's not shit.
Talks a lot of shit about me. Mini, if you're hearing this, Mini, I hate you.
And most of the time, they want to do things to you. I'm just kidding. I'm lying.
Playing Tetris.
And I think that's how I was introduced to you. And it's all the time kind of knowing you from afar. You know what I mean? It's like Yes, I've always known you as Magdalene's boyfriend. Magdalene, who works on radio, and she has a boyfriend, and her boyfriend is Joseph. And like, and what in the initial stage, yes, you're Magdalene's boyfriend, but after a while, you started doing stuff on your own, and you started becoming like, you're posting some really really weird stuff on Instagram that sometimes I'm like, man, this guy's freaking funny. And what caught my attention one day, and the reason why I kind of like, oh, okay, I kind of want to know more about Joseph, and it was when you actually spoke about how you use comedy as some sort of like a defense mechanism for yourself.
Yeah, man, it's sad and like funny at the same time. But yes, I use humor a lot to basically shield myself and not to say out the bad, not the bad things, but my dark past, if you can see.
Oh wow. I mean, okay. The thing is this is not something new, lah. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people, you've heard a lot of celebrities say that, I use like humor to kind of like it's like a self-coping mechanism, that kind of thing.
It is.
But we'll get into that a little bit later. How did you meet Maggie? I'm just very curious.
Oh my God, Maggie. Do you want the long story, or do we have time? Do we have time to?
This is a podcast. We have a lot of time to waste. We are stuck at home. Please tell me how.
So 6 years ago, I remember downloading Tinder. Okay, let's not call it Tinder. Let's call it a social media app. Okay, where you meet people and stuff. At that time, this social media app wasn't as trashy as it is today. Because I hear a lot of trashy stories today.
I thought Tinder started off trashy, then in the long run became a little bit more legit. You mean it's like trashier now?
No, it's trashier now, dude.
Oh shit!
I hear a lot of trashy stories about like, you know what? Let's not get into that right now. But like
okay, yeah, because like I've always because as long as I've known Tinder, right, it's always been like a hookup app kind of thing.
Oh, not before though. I met a lot of decent people. I don't want to say it out loud because Maggie's actually in the kitchen right now. So
it's okay. She'll listen to this podcast anyway. Yeah,
but I met a lot of people through Tinder who are friends today.
Oh wow!
So I used to. I mean, like, it's not a hookup app. You can make it into a hookup app. You can define it as a hookup app if you go in the app, to find a hookup. But like for me, I was finding a relationship. I know it sounds super corny, but like, yes, I go on Tinder to find I found a relationship. Okay, so Maggie and I, we actually matched each other 6 years ago. I think around this time as well. Yeah, man, 6 years. It's been 6 years. But the day we swiped and the day we matched, that night itself was Mark OD's housewarming party, and we didn't know. And we went to the housewarming party, and then I saw this girl, and I'm like, oh my God, this girl looks awfully familiar because she came late, Malaysians, right? But so I looked at this girl for a while. I'm like, is this Maggie? I mean, this doesn't look like Maggie and all. Turns out, when the photos she posted on Tinder, the social media app, was photos of her during her Miss Universe days.
Oh
now,
my
again,
God.
like no body shaming or whatever. Okay, I still fell in love with her.
Yeah,
but like when I looked at her, like the day, like 6 years ago, bro, she gained weight. She didn't look at the photos.
Oh,
so
man.
basically, from then on, I concluded, fuck, I got catfished, man. Like, I was sad and angry at the same time. I'm like, oh my God, Joseph, like, you got catfished, The photos do not look like this girl who is standing in front of you 6 years ago, obviously.
Oh, man.
So the whole time I was so angry and I didn't want to talk to her and stuff like that. And then when the night ended, we made friends, became friends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I unmatched her on Tinder.
Oh my God, you bastard. But did you think, okay, I'm pretty sure you guys went to a mutual friend's party, okay? And before that, you guys kind of matched on Tinder. I'm pretty damn sure she also knew it was you, right?
I think she did. She looked a bit confused at first.
Yeah.
And she didn't know as well. Because like, again, like the day you match and the night itself, you guys bump into each other. I mean, that's so convenient, right?
It's
and
fate,
so
dude.
she looked a bit shocked and stuff like that. I was angry. I was just like,
okay, look, I know that she posted a pretty nice picture of herself. Everybody wants a good picture. I doubt that you posted a nice picture. You probably posted something that damn ugly. Considering that you basically, wear spandex and freaking yank.
The spandex came again on the 11/11 sale on Lazada. Okay, it was like a 50% off, and I thought, you know what? Why the hell not? Or I get to be John Mayer and stuff like that. But
oh my God.
at that time, I didn't really had the confidence. I I was actually really shy when it comes to girls.
Yeah, here's the thing. That's why I wanted to ask that question. There I was, knowing you from a distance. Obviously, I knew you from because of my wife's colleagues who were talking about you. Yeah, this tall guy. So he's like this. See, like I'm generally a tall guy. All right. Most
You
of the
are
time
tall.
I go out. All right. I will always have friends who are shorter than me. I've always been used to that for the longest time. Okay, and they used to make fun of my height. And the
What
first time
assholes, man.
and you're the first person where I saw shit. This guy's actually taller than me. Damn it! I feel threatened right now.
I think we're the same. We're the same height, man.
No, wait, no, dude, you're freaking you're way taller than me. Okay,
What? How tall are you again?
I'm
Sorry, but how tall are you?
181.
Okay, I'm 190. Sorry, man.
Yeah, see, 9 cm is
But
a lot.
it's not that far apart, you know.
Yeah. Humble brag, bastard. Okay. So here I am asking you the question because you just mentioned that you never had the confidence, and here I am.
I don't.
Okay, you obviously wouldn't have known this, or either that you knew but you just didn't want to accept or like admit to it. So you had like other girls talking about you, saying, "Oh, he's tall, very handsome, and he's very funny and stuff like that." You have people talking about you, but yet you yourself are not. You don't have that self-confidence in you. And you know what's the thing? When people always see people who are tall, handsome, good looking, right? The person that will judge this person automatically, this fella confirm get all the girls one now. You know what I mean? He's very smooth with the ladies. Either that or he's a player. Or he's a rich man's son, that kind of thing. Look at his skin, so fair. You fit all of that. But here you are. But here you are telling me that you're not confident. Why was that though? Were you rejected before by a girl?
Believe it or not, I actually don't. I only had like before Maggie, I only had like 4 to 5, I think. Exes. Maggie had a lot more than me.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah. We're not gonna spill the tea on Magdalene. I was
Like her
like,
today, all right? God, Maggie is shit every time.
it was so
But,
funny. It was so funny that you mentioned like 4 to 5. For me, it's like, that's not bad. I had 3, and then after you're like, Magdalene has got 4.
So many. Maggie had like
Yeah, more than 4 and 5. More than 4 to 5. Yeah, sorry. Go on.
but yeah, going back to the confidence thing, I don't know. I just never had the confidence to talk to. I think I have really bad social skills, man. Especially when it comes to like holding a conversation and stuff like that. Back then, oh my god, it was horrendous. So I mean, when you know that like you have really bad like social skills, right away you're game for girls to pick up girls. Cannot, bro.
Really?
I will get so awkward, like to the point where like I might even pee my pants, bro.
Are you the type of guy, right, that you will try and find out whether the girl likes you first, then only you make a move? Like for like a 70%, there's a 70% chance that this girl confirm likes you already. Only then you'll be like, hey girl, do you like anybody currently? and still don't even like that. Are you that kind of guy?
Let me think. Let me just go through all my exes right now and let me give you a definite answer. I think so.
Really?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I would talk to the girl first, and then like I wouldn't dare to make the first move until she said, "Hey, like I kind of like you. You want to go out like on a date?" I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, sure. You know what? Let's go."
Oh man, you know why? Because I'm like that too. Yeah, and like my friends, my guy friends, who are those like really like player, like they're damn ugly also, but got damn lot of girlfriend type. like they will be the butt of the conversation with your other friends. That guy, right? I don't understand. He's so damn ugly, but yet he still get a lot of girls. I don't understand. He'll be they'll be like teaching you all the stuff. Yeah, you know what? You gotta make the first move. Girls like the guys who are aggressive. Girls don't like pussies and stuff like that. And here I am, waiting for the green light from the girl. Before I. That's how it is, dude. It's like
I know how you feel, man.
like for my current wife, Chewa, like as if I had previous wives before. Like Michelle, sorry, let me rephrase that. Currently Michelle, right? I won't lie. I was okay lah. I was talking to her, but I never talked to her in person. I hardly talked to her in person. I talked to her more on Facebook Messenger last time, before there was Instagram lah, okay? Before there was Twitter.
Wait, how did you guys meet again?
Okay, so I used to work in radio, right? Chewa, same like Magdalene Wang. And hey Magdalene, well, I mean I've told the story before, but Magdalene used to come over to Hits, my studio. I'm not sure whether I've trained her before. I think there were like some instances where she sat in on my show and I trained her a little bit. So I used to work in radio, and Michelle, my wife, used to work in Universal Music. So the whole idea for Universal Music is to sell music, right? They are the ones who are in charge of marketing people like Justin Bieber, Lady Gaga, and stuff like that. So her job is to come to the radio stations to furnish us with songs. Whether it's a good or a bad song, they need to make sure that we play it on air. And I think I met her on the day where her colleagues were bringing her, showing her around, like, hey, this is fresh meat. She just joined.
Was that her first day? Or?
Yeah, I think that was like maybe her first week or first day. So they were going to all the different radio stations, like, Fly FM, Hits FM, and introducing her to everyone who made this, introducing her to all the program managers, the people who were in charge of putting music up on radio stations to make you listen to it over and over again. Then I saw her and I met her and I was like, dang, this girl's hot. Yeah. And then for me, it was like, I was trying like really hard. Hey, maybe...
You get a number the first day?
No, I did not. It's like... the way I got her number also was damn cheating lah, okay? It's like, okay, so I was trying to pull a... Hey, maybe she listens to Hits.fm and maybe she knows I'm a radio DJ, So I tried to like slip in that, and she's like, "Oh, I just got back from Australia." I was like, shit." She doesn't know about me. She hasn't heard my show, so that's there. It was like a fresh start. But back then I was kind of like already dating someone. How I got her number was cheating lah. It's like I was sent on assignment to interview an artist, and she was the contact point, and I had to be given her number.
Oh,
yeah.
It's still work, and
yeah, it is.
Same time, man.
But the funny thing was, okay, cool. She's hot. All right, okay. For the I mean, like, because she's gonna listen to this podcast, she's still hot, by the way. Okay, so when I first saw her, obviously she's very attractive. The first thing that went through my mind was, this type of girl will never date a guy like me. And like, I don't know. It's like, it's just straight away, like in that sense. I think like I've never really had like a very stable relationship successful relationship until I was like Form 5. And that was a nightmare too, because that girl was literally just two-timing me. I was like a security blanket. If she couldn't make it with this guy, she would just come back to me for like, for like, emotional support while she kind of finds her next guy. Yeah. So I think because of that, I was like a little hesitant in like, some guys would tell you, hey, if you like the girl, just go out to her and tell her like, hey, you want to go for lunch? Because I knew for a fact that in my office, a shit ton of guys were like messaging her and asking her to go out and whatever like that and whatever not, you know what I mean? But it's funny because like I started talking to her on Facebook. And but then again, I had a girlfriend then, so I didn't really have that conversation. So then my ex then, I had problems with her. The minute I dumped her, boom, straight away like, hey. Yeah, and it wasn't until like maybe a year and a half to 2 years only did we kind of like go out. But like, it's so sad. She made the first move. I didn't make the first move. She kind of was really obvious telling me that she likes me, and then I'm like, I didn't even the fact that she told me she made it quite obvious that she was interested. I didn't even do anything, and then probably she was like, this fella's damn loser lah. So I think she probably like decided to like make her move just to find out whether I really like her or not, just to satisfy her curiosity. And
hey,
so
bro, I'm as sad as you, bro.
Yeah, and then after that I'll be like, surprise, I like you. Yeah.
So the thing about Tinder is that you will know when the person likes you because the person has to swipe right?
Yeah.
So when I matched Maggie, immediately I'm like, okay, she thinks I'm attractive. Okay, Joseph, it's game time. Let's go.
Yeah, you see, you have that. You know what I mean? I don't have that. It's more of like you know how high school, right? When you like a girl, it's damn hard. When there was no internet, you had to basically make friends with her friends. And then you think that the girl that you like will draw mahal. Her damn friends will draw mahal to you first. Huh? You like her? You want to know whether she like you? Oh, I don't know. That kind of thing. Yeah. So that's how it was. So that's why like for me, for you to tell me that you're not confident around girls, it's surprising because like, hey, look at you. You have 6 packs. I've been trying that for 30 years and I've never ever achieved to get any packs, but yeah. And I
From my
think,
gym, bro.
yeah, I think like a lot of
Motion
people,
lab, by the way.
yeah, a lot of people tend to look up to you and you know like want to be you, your physique and stuff like that. So okay, how long did it take you to actually go out on a date with Maggie?
So again, continuing the story, actually, I can actually hear myself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. So going back to the story again, we didn't talk for a month, bro, or month or 2 months, bro. That's the thing. After I unmatched her, we just didn't like contact until one day when my mutual friend and her mutual friend decided to go on a date. So they didn't want to go alone. She brought Maggie and my friend brought me.
All right.
And then we met each other and like, oh my God, is this girl?
Oh
who
my God.
catfished me. Ruined my entire night. God. So, but anyway, but we hit off. I mean, we started like connecting on a more personal level because at that time it was a party, right? So we didn't get to like sit down and talk to each other. After that double date, we went out again. Same couple again. It was them and then us. But we were supposed to volunteer at a soup kitchen.
Oh wow!
Yeah, man. Kachara, I think Kachara or Kachara.
Kachara, yeah, Kachara soup kitchen.
Kacharas, yeah. So our friends basically they abandoned us. They had something on. They wanted to go by themselves. I don't know what the hell was that. But we decided to go along the plan. We volunteered and stuff like that. And I get super turned on for some reason when girls they show like attributes of themselves being selfless and stuff like that. So when I saw Maggie like giving out like food to people, I'm like, wow, this girl.
Not her profile picture.
Not her profile picture at all.
But her selflessness.
But her selflessness, her personality really caught my attention.
Wow.
And then right after volunteering, I asked her, hey, do you wanna grab like supper? And then we just sat down in the Mamak back in the days where you could sit down in the Mamak for like until 2 a.m. So we sat down like the 2 a.m. just talking.
And that's the best. Those are the best dates, right? That you don't have to spend a lot of money, try to freaking buy her a damn expensive dinner to show that you're damn bloody rich and successful.
Yeah, bro, I was still studying at that time some more,
You know when I first started dating Michelle, I was earning less than her and she was doing so much better. But most of our dates, right? I mean, yeah, we did go have Nando's. Nando's was a luxury, for us.
Back then.
Yeah.
It still is, bro.
We would go to Chennai and such at like 2 after she finishes work. Like she has an event because she does music, right? So she's got like music events. It's like 2 a.m. We would just text each other and we will go to like Chennai and such, and then just sit there and then she shaft until like 4 a.m. and just have conversation. Yeah, it's like that is like the typical Malaysian date that is damn awesome. That like you don't have to worry about what's the agenda. You just go there, sit down, chit chat, and get to really know whether this person is interesting or not. You know what I mean? If you guys can sit down there for like 5 hours. Yeah, that's freaking awesome, dude. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Yeah, so, I want to know more about you because I feel like everybody listening, if you follow Joe Jabrosov on Instagram, he's called Jabrosov, by the way. Yeah, such a manly name. He posts a lot of funny videos. You are a part of a lot of things. I have used you for films that I produce and stuff like that. I think initially, when you were studying and you entered in the music industry, and then you came out, did you have a really clear thought of mind or what you wanted to do? Because I know that you have a gym, right? Can you talk? Can you talk to us a little bit more about the Motion Lab gym that you're running?
Okay, so Motion Lab is a gym again, but we run a little bit different compared to other gyms because other gyms have different goals and stuff like that. And most of the gyms here, their goals are to build your body, to lose weight and stuff like that. But we focus a lot more on movements, on your joint health and stuff like that. So it's very different. And what we can do is, how other gyms and stuff like that, when you have a problem, the gym trainers will automatically assign you to a, what's it called? Like a
personal trainer. Oh, physical. Okay.
Physical therapist and stuff like that. We actually work with the physical therapist to get you back on track.
Oh, okay.
So when we see pain, it's basically meaning that the body is trying to tell you something and we try to work around the pain. Some gyms, they just tell you, hey, bro, you feel pain, bro, just push it, bro, push it. And then when you push it at the end, something's going to happen. And then once you get like a lifelong injury that would affect you for the rest of your life, bro, that's it. You have to go surgery and stuff like that. And we want to try to avoid that. We want to try to be different in that sense.
Right.
So that's what Motion Lab is all about.
So have you always been very athletic, like from young?
Oh, I have. So, back in high school, I actually, 13, I think 13 years old onwards, I started playing basketball a lot.
Ah,
And
that explains
when I
the
was 15,
height. So is it true? Is it true that tall people have like really small dicks?
yeah, I guess.
Okay, sorry, we
Sorry,
sidetracked.
sorry,
We
sorry,
sidetracked.
sorry.
We sidetracked a bit. Sorry. For those listening, sorry. Yeah, we were getting into this intense conversation. We sidetracked. I had to. Okay, sorry. Yeah, you used to play basketball when you're young. Yep.
Yes, yes. So 13 to 15, I was pretty active until I reached 16 onwards. You know, when you're 16 and stuff like that, you tend to get a little bit more like rebellious.
Yeah.
So I started smoking. I started going out very late and stuff like that. And it kind of really affected me.
Okay.
And okay, so I met a lot of people. I hung out with a lot of people as well. I hung out with the wrong friends, and that made me to go party a lot.
Oh wow.
I was in Subang. I remembered. I don't know whether you know Barcelona.
Oh, it sounds.
Yes, bro.
It sounds very familiar, but I most probably did not go there because I was not cool enough.
No, like you're pretty cool, lah, bro. But like, but it was at Sunway Pyramid. I remembered. I would always go to Sunway because I hung out with this bunch of like Subang people and stuff like that.
It's
And
always the
because
Subang
of that-
people, right? The Subang people are all the bad
What's a man
influence,
ego?
you know.
Like- but yeah, because of them, man, I wasted a lot of my time at 16 to 18 because I was smoking, I was skipping school, I was just doing all sorts of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then that after 18 to 19, I remember that made me realize because my mom caught me doing all that shit. So one day I was driving my dad's car, driving to school, driving back from school, and my dad was with a friend. And I remember like I was smoking a cigarette outside, and then my dad caught me. My dad was like doing this.
Oh wow.
So he sped up his friend, and then like he did this. The friend started honking. Then I was like, "What the hell's going on?" Then I saw my dad. You know, while my hands were out, and I looked at him, and then I flicked the cigarette away and just did this.
Oh, you started
Trying to
waving
pretend
back.
like that. Yeah. But then I went home, and then my dad scolded, and then like my mom started shouting and started crying and stuff like that. And then seeing them being very upset, that made me realize like maybe this is not something that I should pursue.
Right.
Maybe I should be very conscious about what I do on because it also affects them. And since then on, I've decided to, you know what, I am going to concentrate to do what I want to do, or at least progress in life. And that's what I did.
But I kind of feel that okay, because like whatever you said, it's so funny that you mentioned whatever you just mentioned because like whatever you mentioned, I've kind of gone through it as well. Smoking, I've tried smoking when you well, but not in high school lah. But the thing was, I started smoking when I was in college because I used to study in Sunway. I studied everywhere lah. I was a slut. I was a university slut. I studied in Taylor, Sunway, and Metro. Yeah, because like I was transferring credits everywhere. I think like I started when I was in Sunway, but you know there was this whole bunch of friends. We always go out to the side gate, and then they were all puffing, and then they are your classmates, so you hang out with them. And it's funny because like there were two of us who were not smoking, then suddenly both of us picked it up. But it's not because we needed it. It's because we were. I think it's peer pressure. We don't realize that it's peer pressure back then. But you know we were like took the first puff. It tasted like crap. Made you cough.
You start coughing, bro.
Yeah, and then after that, the next day you'd be like, okay, you know what? It's like you're trying to level up yourself. Yesterday I coughed. Let's see today I cough or not. Hey, today I never cough. You know.
Yeah,
and then
man.
I mean, like I got rid of the habit like fairly quickly. I mean, like you go clubbing. There's a possibility you might smoke as well. Yeah, but I got rid of it fairly quickly. I think when I started putting on a lot of weight, actually, then I'm not sure. I can't remember why. But I remember getting rid of it like really, really quickly. I feel like, okay, whatever you just told me is like, I think every one of us needs to kind of hit that point of life where we kind of know we messed up and it affects more people than we think it does, especially to the people that matters a lot, only for us to make our own decision compared to the point of time when we had decisions made for us. You get what I mean?
Yes. I totally know what you mean because again, like after 18, you're on your own, you know, basically from there, you know, and you're liable. Let's say, for example, if you were to commit a crime, you are liable to that.
Yeah.
You know? And that's super scary. Like 17, okay, party. 18, bam. So much responsibilities all of a sudden.
Yeah.
You know, and I wasn't taught the tools that I needed to progress. I just had to learn by experience.
Yeah.
You know?
And
I don't know whether you could resonate or not.
well, okay, so my mom's a single mom. And okay, I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to downplay moms because okay, there are certain things where you kind of need a dad to teach you. Sometimes moms can teach you everything, but you know, moms there are more things that sometimes you need a dad to teach you rather than a mom. You know what I mean? So maybe that's why I wasn't very street smart. I was very gullible. I was very like easily influenced and stuff like that. So, but the thing is, you need to again lah. Like even though if I had both my parents over here teaching me everything, right, they can basically they're just gonna pave a very smooth and painless road for you because they feel that that's the right thing to do. But it doesn't really. I don't
Sometimes
think
it's not what you want, you know.
It's not. Yes, that's one. But sometimes you just need to walk that rough road and fall down yourself so that you know. Like you know, they don't control your. Although yes, they gave birth to you. They gave you life. Yes, that's completely fair. But the thing is, like they said, like everybody's thinking is completely the same. Not completely different. Sorry, not the same. Completely different. Like I would think differently about this person or this situation. You would think differently about this situation, and everybody will react to a certain situation if given the opportunity differently. And I think, like for me, is where it really hit in terms of studies wise, okay. Where it really hit rock bottom was when I failed my exam in Sunway, and but then again the whole
Expensive, man.
yeah the whole course failed. The whole entire student body all failed because the lecturer forgot to submit our assignments. That's why 100% failure. At first I failed.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Are you serious? What?
Then after that, the year after that, they shut down the whole faculty. So at first I failed, you know. Then I'm like, shit. The whole entire 2 years, I kind of blew it and that kind of thing. And then straight away, what I did was, at that point in time, I was so afraid to come home and tell my mom.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because I didn't know that my mom. Okay, I knew that my mom wasn't like she doesn't have a lot of money. You know what I mean? Because I kind of found out that she started borrowing money here and there just for me to go to school and stuff like that.
Shit.
So when I failed, I was like, shit. I'm like, okay. My plan was to. How do I pacify my mom? It's like, okay, I need to do something right now to show her that I'm doing something so that she won't be that angry. She'll be angry, but not super angry until like want to because I've upset my mom a lot before. I remember like at one point in time before we had handphones, right? I used to and talk on the phone with girls. Well, it's with this one girl that I like, and it's not calling her house phone, it's calling her handphone, and it's really expensive. A house landline calling a handphone, talking for 3 hours. There was one point in time.
Back in the days, man.
Yeah, back in the days, dude.
Kids these days are so lucky.
Yeah, they get WhatsApp for free, bastards. and I remember that there was one night I fought my mom because the phone bills came up to like 400 ringgit, and she's like, Where am I gonna get this money? And I think I just didn't understand how much 400 ringgit was at that point in time. You know what I mean? So I knew that I failed. I straight away took all of my results. That means all my certificates and everything. I went to Metropolitan College. I sat down with the council over there. All right, this is what I have right now. I have some distinctions and a lot of failures. Okay, tell me what do I need to do in order for me to graduate? That's what I asked. And she told me that, okay, based on your scores and everything, okay, cool. You need to do half a semester of foundation and then you straight away do your first year degrees, your degree lah. And I'm like, okay, cool. What's the fastest I can finish this degree? She's like, okay, the fastest you can finish is 2.5 years. The longest is 3 years lah, right? So for me, it's like, fine. I went back, told my mom everything, told her everything, blah, 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 blah. Typical lah, go back like, hey, ma, I failed. But actually the whole uni failed. You know what I mean? You try to pacify and downplay the whole damn thing. And I told her my plan and everything. She didn't say anything. I remember that. I thought I was expecting her to scream at me. She's just nodded her head. I remember she went to she said that, okay, are you sure this is what you want to do? And I'm like, yeah. And then, because I had some money too, because I used to work part-time for an event company. So I said, like, oh, should I take out some money? She's like, no. She went to the bank. I knew what the fees were straight away, went to the university, paid it, and I started. And all the subjects that I used to fail in high school, I got distinctions in that university, in that college. And that's when I realized that, wow, this feels good. And the more you excel, the more you wanted to kind of push yourself. And I graduated. I had a lot of this. I for like I never in my life my SPM results is a failure, bro. My SPM result is a you give it to a child to learn A B C D E F G. Yeah, and like when I yeah, and when I graduated, I had like distinctions. I had like so many like I had things that I was never used to before. You get a result and you'd be like, oh, distinction and a HD. I was like, what the hell is HD? Oh, it's a high distinction. I'm like, oh, okay. And then you bring it back, and then your mom's like, oh, that's good, that's good. So, like coming back to what you said, like when you knew that you upset people and they are the people that kind of matter to you most, you will make your decisions. Like you will straight away like flip a switch and
Very differently.
start surviving. And I kind of hope that this speaks to some of you listening too. It's not wrong to fail, or it's not wrong to do wrong things.
Mine was a little bit different, bro. I remembered because I came from a family who had a lot of money before, and my dad was earning a lot of money. I remember until one point where we were just broke. So I was high up, and then like I just dropped low from there. And I remembered the turning point was when I was doing law, and I dropped out.
Okay.
I dropped out of law because it was not something I want to do. Like I remember dreading to go to class every day until one point, my final paper, I remember for year one, I just didn't want to go.
Oh wow.
I broke down. I didn't want to go, and I told my dad. I said I don't want to do it anymore. And my reaction was different than yours. I got slapped in the face.
Oh.
I know. Oh. I got slapped in the face. I remembered, and then we had a whole like commotion going around the house, and I'm just gonna put it out there. My family, like I grew up very rough because of the upbringing from my parents. I mean, my parents they have changed. Okay, like I went to therapy like 3 to 4 years ago, and I was diagnosed with like CPTSD, childhood PTSD, basically, and a lot of it had to do with my upbringing. And I'm just very grateful that my parents have already accepted it, and they're willing to work. But back to the story again, when it was the turning point where we were like, shit, like we don't have a lot of money anymore.
Yeah.
We had to rely on ourselves, and I didn't understand because I was growing up and I could get anything I wanted at that time.
Wow.
Like I didn't have to work whatsoever from there. And then all of a sudden, like I lost that privilege,
Right.
And I remember telling my dad, I said, I don't want to do law anymore. Like oh my God, it's just so tiring and taxing, and I'm not sleeping well and stuff like that. I'm not even concentrating because it's just not something I want to do.
Right.
And he slapped me and stuff like that the whole night, bro. He was scolding and scolding and scolding and scolding, bro, until the next day. I think he probably calmed down a lot, and then he realized that he made a mistake doing it. And then he asked what I wanted to do. What's your backup plan?
Right.
Only then he decided to treat me like an adult and listen to my plan, which was I wanted to take a gap year, like 3 to 6 months, just to do whatever I want to do, and then see how it goes, and then only enroll to the course that I want to do. That
is completely the best thing you should do.
It's the best thing ever, man.
Yeah.
It's the best thing I ever did. And I remembered I was interning at Universal Music Malaysia.
Yeah.
And I was the oldest intern.
Oh man.
I'm completely fine with that. I'm okay with that. That's the thing, because I finally found what I wanted to do. It may take 5 years, you may be a little bit older, or if you're lucky, you may be super young and you know what you want to do, but that's fine. Some people just don't know what they want to do, as they grow up. And I was just very blessed that I knew what I wanted to do. Not influencing, by the way, but like entertainment basically from there.
It's like you take a gap year and go out to do whatever and experience the world out there and just experience what really tickles your fancy and what gets you excited and interested, right?
Yeah. So I traveled around. My then girlfriend at that time, she was staying in the UK because she was studying there in the UK. So I stayed there for a month, and I was just traveling around, Europe.
Wow.
So I had the time of my life,
Wow.
But my savings gone lah, because like I remember at that time I was also like freelancing here and there, 16, 17 years old, because, they wanted to find like, one of those like, how do I say this? You have a road show and then you give out flyers and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you're like assistant and stuff like that. So I was doing that quite a bit, and I earned quite a bit as well, but I lost all the money, but I have never regretted. because I learned so much from just traveling, different cultures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So coming back again, like, yeah, you know, there are times where you would be lost, and that's okay. You
Yeah.
know,
And
as soon as you admit that you're lost, you right away you would suddenly think of the next action plan to do.
yeah,
You know?
because a lot of people tend to think that when they are lost and they have hit rock bottom, right? They tend to think that, oh, I'm a failure to the person who is expecting of a certain level of me. People tend to forget that. I mean, it sounds cliche lah when I put it this way. People tend to always think that, they need to they need to please their parents first before they take care of themselves and they love themselves. They forget the fact that, if they hit rock bottom, who is the one who's upset? They're upset. Yeah, their parents will be upset. Yes, your parents will definitely be upset. Probably maybe because they spent a lot of money, they saved a lot of money, sent you to do a course which they think that will make a lot of money, and then you fail. You're gonna be upset too because you're so stressed out. You can't perform, and then at the same time you're not only the fact that you have hit rock bottom, but the fact that you could not excel in your education. You have your parents to face as well. It's like a double whammy, that kind of thing. It's like you're down on the ground, and after that your parents come and whack you again. It's like some more add more salt to the wound and stuff like that. But I think like where I get from your conversation was, I think when you told your dad what you wanted to do and what your backup plan was, and when you said that that's when he started treating you like an adult, I think that should be done a little bit. I think that's what's missing from a lot of us Asian kids, to be honest. I mean, like, how often do we say I love you to our parents? We don't, because I don't know why. It's like there's a different way for us to tell our parents.
I know.
Yeah, right? You know what I mean? It's like with the same way like how our parents tell us how they love us. It's like it's not like, oh, I love you. It's more like, hey, 食咗飯未啊? Have you eaten or not? That kind of thing. It's like tough love, that kind of thing. They'll never literally say I love you, but they will just kind of like show their affection in some different way. They'll slap you, I love you. That kind of thing. Yeah.
That's me.
It's like,
But coming back to that, I've learned how to say I love you to my parents. I've learned how to appreciate my time with my parents actually after therapy.
oh wow. Yeah,
Because, sorry, what were you saying again?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Whenever I enter the room, I remember in my therapist's like office, the first thing she would ask is, "How are you feeling today?" And that really hit me the first few times. It didn't really occur to me the first few times, but like, okay. And after like the second or third month, it made me realize like, wow, it's asking how are you feeling and how are you is such a powerful thing, because it makes you realize like how do I actually feel? Because some people, they just don't feel, they don't even know what they're feeling sometimes.
Yeah, they don't.
I don't know whether you can what's it called, you can relate to that or not.
I won't want to say I can relate, but I feel that sometimes when people say, when you go out with friends, say, how are you? It's more of like an icebreaker rather than I want to know how you feel, that kind of thing. But I think when you go to the therapy, which I want to get into this topic a little bit more in depth in just a bit, it's different because this person is there to care for you, and when they ask the question,
right.
you'd be like,
Context a little bit different, I guess.
yeah, context is a bit different. So yeah, you're mentioning about how you are supposed to think about how you feel, and then
And so I'm just going to tell you guys how I started therapy.
Yeah.
And it was 5 years ago. The first year after meeting Maggie, I started acting super aggressive.
Right.
And it wasn't aggressive to Maggie. It was more like self-inflicted, like physical abuse of myself.
Oh wow. Okay.
And I would always, when I get angry, it doesn't go from like 0 to 20%, let's say 30%, 40, 50. Yeah. It just goes up to 100%. And to the point where it was super toxic, where like I would bite my what's it called again? My
hands.
my fist.
Okay.
My hands. Yeah, I'm sorry, my hands. And yeah, man, I would start shouting like nothing. Like I would just go to my pillow and dig my entire face in the pillow, I remember, and just start shouting from there so that the neighbors couldn't hear, like don't hear and stuff like that.
Right.
And it was beginning to affect my relationship with Maggie, because whatever she does, let's say I would get super annoyed and super angry. And I remember the first 3 months after realizing that I need help, I would dread myself to wake up from bed to do anything. You know, I was supposed to find a job. I remember because I just graduated. No, actually, no. I just left my job, and I remember I was just moping around for like 4 to 6 months at home.
Right.
Didn't know what to do and stuff like that. And until to the point where like I had suicidal thoughts, and that made me realize like shit, maybe I need help.
Oh,
You know, yeah.
I don't want to dwell too. Okay, if you don't want to talk about it, I don't want to. That it's
No, we can
completely
talk about
fine.
it. No,
Okay,
no, we can.
like why did it lead up to suicidal thoughts? What were you thinking about yourself? Were you frustrated at yourself, or were you frustrated at something?
I had CPTSD.
Yes,
and,
that's one. Yes.
When I
Okay,
start,
for the benefit of our listeners, what is CPTSD?
it's basically childhood. Fuck. I keep saying CPTSD, but I know what PTSD stands for, but I keep forgetting. I just remember the acronym. So it's post-traumatic something disorder.
Right.
What's
right.
the S? Post-traumatic. Do you know?
I have no
wanna
idea.
guess?
Let me, you know, it's the fact that is I have Google, right. What's it called again? PTSD.
PTSD. Post-traumatic stress disorder. Yes, thank you so much, Maggie. Thank you so much. Yes,
I like that she's listening from afar. She's eavesdropping, bro. Be careful.
Oh my god, I can't say any shit. Maggie sucks. Sorry, I'm kidding. But anyway,
Yeah.
when I had all these like episodes and stuff like that, I remembered I wasn't thinking straight. I was thinking back the 6-year-old Joseph as the 6-year-old Joseph before, because I know my triggers. You know, I can just tell you right now, my trigger is basically when someone raises their voice and I get super agitated. And I remember last time I wouldn't have any control because my dad used to shout at me and stuff like that. But I don't want to talk about what my dad did. I mean, are you okay with that, right? But,
Yeah. I'm
just
completely
gonna say,
fine.
like my what's it called again? My trigger points, and one of it is shouting, like loud noises, like when someone gets angry and they shout at me, and I get super like triggered. And when it triggers, I don't react as the 20-year-old or like 25-year-old Joseph, my 20s. I react as the 6-year-old Joseph.
Right.
Like, you know how kids are. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how really to share the feeling, but like you go back to the past and then like you start shouting for no reason because you're scared. You go back to the 6-year-old Joseph and then like you reminisce like not reminisce but like you're forced to go through what the 6-year-old Joseph did. And it was traumatic experiences the 6-year-old Joseph had to experience. I don't know. Does that make sense? Does it make sense?
Yeah, it does. I cannot. I will not say that it makes sense because I've gone through it. I think being a father, because my daughter went through. So my daughter. Okay, there's nothing to in no relation to raising a voice or anything. But I think I think when you're young and you go through something so traumatic, it will basically you'll remember it for quite a while. Like my daughter fell down, she kind of cut her chin. We had to bring her to the hospital to stitch, and it was crazy because they strapped her. She's a kid, she's a 2-year-old, right? They had to strap her hands like she was like literally strap her. She cannot move, you know, and they had to inject her, and she was screaming. I could hear her from outside the hospital. And because of that, maybe it won't be, she'll forget about it, but for I think a week or two, out of nowhere, at night she'll just start screaming. She is like traumatic. She'll wake up and remember that point of time. And I think I'm not, to be honest, I don't even think whether that's in any way relatable, but maybe, you know, you've gone through something as a young kid that kind of stayed for a long, long time.
I remembered, I'm just going to say, I'm going to share one experience, was from my uncle. I remembered playing my uncle's mouse at that time. I was at his place, I remembered. And you know what, the mouse back then?
Yeah, it's a roller ball.
And then the ball comes out from there.
Yeah.
The ball came off and I couldn't find the ball.
Right.
And I remembered my uncle coming back, and he saw what happened. I tried to explain to him. I didn't know what was going on. And at the time I was very young. I was like 4 to 5 years old. And before I could even explain myself, he punched me in the face.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I remembered I was my nose was bleeding, and then I had cuts on my lips, and then he was shouting at the same time, like, "Why the hell are you like this? Why are you so stupid?" and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where my parents went there because they left me with my grandmother, and at that time my uncle was staying with my grandmother, and
Mm-hmm.
my mom came back and saw the whole thing.
Oh
Right,
wow.
she started crying and she grabbed me, and we went to the hospital right away because
Right.
I had
Right.
like a nosebleed and stuff like
Okay.
that from there. And I totally forgot that happened
Mm-hmm.
until I went to therapy,
Oh wow.
because it was so traumatic for me that I didn't realize, like, why am I so triggered to loud sounds and stuff like that. It is because like a whole lot of like incident, but like one of it was that, like, I didn't realize that happened until I started like processing with my therapist.
Oh wow.
And I went up to my mom. I said, I remembered as a kid, like uncle used to like hit me one time, and she kept quiet. The whole family kept quiet
Oh wow. Wait, so
because
you went to
they
tell your
didn't know how to
mom.
answer.
You went to tell your mom like as an adult lah, as an adult. You went back to her and tell her lah. Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I was angry
Mm-hmm.
because after finding out, I was angry. I went up to her and I said, "Why didn't you protect me at that time?"
I see.
Like, I was only 6 years old. I didn't know what was going on.
Right.
And because of that episode, it unlocked a lot, tremendous amount more of like traumatic events that I had to go through. And the other one is with my tuition teacher. But let's get into this first right now. But I remembered like telling this to my mom, and they just kept quiet the entire time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when I shared it to my mom started crying
Mm-hmm.
because my mom is a very sensitive person,
Right.
but I love her because she's sensitive. She knows when I'm angry and when I'm not.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And my dad just brushed it off and said, "You did something wrong." So
Oh. Okay. Okay.
he basically just gaslighted me, at that time, and it felt. I was super angry at that time, and what I did? I just stormed out. I started shouting at him. I didn't even know until today. I don't know why I shouted at him. I just stormed off from the
Right.
house.
Okay.
I said, "You're a horrible dad," and wow, shit.
Oh, man. Thanks for sharing, dude. Thanks for sharing.
No.
Yeah.
I really want you guys to know, like, just in case people out there, I mean, if they're watching this or like listening to this, they can relate and stuff. But maybe hopefully it will help them. I don't know. But like the second event I had was with my tuition teacher.
Right.
And I remember this tuition teacher was young. He was, I think, around his 30s. He was a lawyer, and he was teaching me Bahasa BM. I was
Okay.
only standard 2 at that time. I think 7 to 8 years old.
Yeah.
And this teacher, I remembered, whenever I do something wrong, he would slap me in the face.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, man, he would literally slap me to the point where I would have a mark on my face. My cheeks would be red in color.
Okay.
And at that time, 7-year-old Joseph didn't know, because 7-year-old Joseph thought he did something wrong.
Yeah. Didn't we all as kids think, when we are being slapped by an adult, we have to accept it because we made a mistake?
Yeah. That's why all of this can turn into like PTSD as you grow older, But like, unfortunately, I had to seek for treatment, But
Right.
but it was still one of the best things I have ever like decided for myself.
And how? Okay, but before we move on, I mean, how do you feel now? I mean, like after going to therapy, doing this for about 4 years, you were mentioning you went for therapy for 4 years, right?
Yeah. I feel great. Not great, but like there are days where I feel bad and stuff like that.
Yep.
But I know how to manage myself,
Okay.
because I know that like this, like feeling shitty and like feeling depressed and stuff like that, that will always be part of life,
Of course.
And it's so important, so important to learn to use these tools to sort of like, mitigate yourself, just in case if you fall too low. You will fall, like if you look at like progression, it's never linear, right? It's always like you go down and you come up, and you go down and you come up. It's just that like when you go down, do you have the tools to come up again? Then that's super important, and that's what I've learned in therapy.
Right. I want to, okay, so like, I want to, like, for the benefit of our listeners, the reason why I got in touch with Joseph is because like there's one day that he actually posted something on Instagram. Now, the reason why he posted that post is because, there were a lot of news going around talking about the cases of suicide. From January until today, I think they averaged about like 4 cases of suicide a day. And I've had an episode of mental health before. Previously, I had YB Michelle on the show, and we were talking about mental health and how we all should actually make going to see a therapist normal, because a lot of people tend to always think that, oh, you're going to see psychiatrists, why are you crazy? They always say that. They make it look like, oh, only crazy people go and see
Such taboo
psychiatrists.
thing, you know.
Yeah, and it's not. And for me, it's like I remember having this conversation with Joseph, and I said that, hey, do you think it would be cool to talk about it? I mean, like, but also generally, even if it wasn't about that, I always wanted to have Joseph at the show because he's a funny guy. But like it seems that we kind of have been able to kind of gradually kind of like segue into this topic, and then you mentioned that you were you were triggered, and then at one point in time you had suicidal thoughts, right? Was it you who made the decision, who basically decided like, okay, I need help, or did somebody kind of tell you that, hey, you need help? Did you hesitate when someone told you, hey, I think you need to go see a psychiatrist? Have you ever had that kind of encounter before?
No.
Okay.
No, I never had, because you weren't really like taught to understand like the symptoms of depression or like PTSD and stuff like that. So you don't really know what's really happening inside your brain until Maggie pointed out like, this has to stop.
Right.
Like you are hurting yourself, and you had suicidal thoughts before. Maybe it's time to see someone.
Right.
And that's what drove me to see someone, because I thought like, oh my God, like she's right, Like it didn't really occur to me until she pointed everything out what I shared earlier.
Right.
And then I realized like, if I don't find help, something bad is going to happen if I dip even lower again.
Right. And that point
happened.
Yeah. And that point of time, when you had suicidal thoughts, may I please ask, like, what was that dip? What was that rock bottom at that point of time? What were you thinking of that led you to think of suicidal thoughts?
I went back to the 7-year-old Joseph, pleading my parents, my uncle, and the tuition teacher not to stop hitting me.
Oh, wow.
I was crying. I remembered I was alone at the studio. This was last year, by the way.
Okay.
So I had like two episodes where like I wanted to like commit suicide. It's just not something you should like. I know that like saying out loud, it's just super weird when I say it out loud. I don't know why, but like, last year's episode was an all-time low for me.
Right.
Because of the whole pandemic, and I was just adapting to it. The whole MCO as well, the gym not being opened and stuff like that. There was a lot of like external stress involved.
Yes.
And I remember being in the studio, sitting down, just listening to music, and all of a sudden I was thinking of the past. Like my parents and my uncle and what's it called again? My tuition teacher. And I remember the pain and the voices and stuff like that. And then I had like flashbacks.
Yeah.
And that made me to start losing control of myself. And then all of a sudden I felt like my legs started feeling very light.
I see.
And I started sobbing and crying. And I remembered I was grabbing onto a dumbbell, like a dumbbell, like a dumbbell like that, like please, just begging, like, please stop.
Okay.
Please stop hurting me. Please just let me alone. Leave me alone, please. To the point where I saw a window, and I climbed the window and I just sat down. So this is the window.
Yeah.
My legs were here, and I wanted to climb up again from there.
Yeah.
And I remembered I was looking down. I'm super afraid of heights, by the way.
Okay.
And when I looked down at that time, I saw a solution.
Oh, okay.
Like, oh my God, like if I drop down, this whole thing would end.
Okay.
I won't feel pain anymore. That was the 7-year-old Joseph talking.
Okay.
From there. Until Maggie called me.
Yep.
And I remember like my phone started ringing in my pocket, and then I took it out, and then I'm like, Maggie called me and said, hey, is everything okay and stuff like that. And I broke down even more.
Okay.
And I told Maggie everything, and then Maggie said, hey, calm down. Maybe you should sit down and think first. And then she reminded me of the people that loves me and stuff like that.
Right.
And yeah, that kind of like made me climb back up and went back home.
Right.
And I remembered sharing this to my therapist, and then my therapist said maybe it's time to see a psychiatrist again. So therapist again. For those who don't know, a psychologist is like a physical therapist, like a physio.
Yep.
Where they try to help you, try to give you the tools that you need to work on to strengthen your emotional, mental capacity, resilience as well. Whereas a psychiatrist is a doctor that can diagnose what you have and also give medication to you, can basically prescribe you medication. I needed help because according to my therapist, I was in survival mode. You know, like whenever I enter like that 6-year-old Joseph mindset, and I've been going quite frequent at that time, and your body needs rest. That's what my therapist said. And it's okay sometimes to take something like psychotic, like antipsychotic, like drugs.
Yep.
Antidepressant drugs, basically. Sorry.
Yes.
So I was taking Voldoxin, I remembered. And when the doctor prescribed me, I remembered clinching on the medication, walking out, feeling super embarrassed. Because, I don't know, you know, like taboo and stuff like that.
The stigma, people will automatically judge you.
Exactly, you know. Yeah, what would people think? What would my parents think? What would Maggie think? And stuff like that. And I felt super embarrassed at that time. And I remembered I went to the car, I started sobbing again.
Yep.
I started crying, and then I'm like, am I crazy? Like, am I just seeking for attention? You know? And after, I just had to trust I remember coming back to Maggie after that, and then Maggie said, just trust the process, just talk to our therapist about it.
Yep.
And I did talk to my therapist about it, and then she said, Joseph, we have a plan. As long as you're consciously, you know that you're working with me and taking this at the same time, gradually, it will make a difference. Your body would start, you know, like resting.
Yep.
And when the body rests, it will give you a lot more time to learn these skills. Because whenever I go into the session with her, I remembered I was all over the place. I would just cry every time. I would break down and stuff like that. I didn't really get to like process my emotions and what really happened and what I think about it and stuff like that. And taking those pills made my emotions calm a lot more.
Yep.
To process my, you know, trauma back then.
I see.
And it really helped. And right now, we're tapering right now. So from one like full serving, one pill, we're taking half right now. So
okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of myself, man.
Oh yeah, dude. I look, man. I like
super.
I remember.
Heavy, man. Shit.
Yeah. Okay. Look. I remember even before this session started, I said that, look, man. Even if we don't talk about the fact that you went for therapy, I just want to have a session and just have a cool chit chat. You know, just chit chat. You know, just have a very regular Mamak session. I just want to say that you are really, really brave to come out and say these type of things, because I remember that we talked on the phone and said that, hey, we want to kind of raise awareness to help people to tell them that it is okay to seek help. And like for me for me to just go out and openly say, hey, it's okay to seek help. It you know, for someone like you who have gone through what you've gone through, to come out, I don't even know how to say, like look, I will never ever understand what you went through, but whatever you're doing right now, I can see it. This is not I refuse to basically tape this as a video episode, because like, you know, I didn't want to put pressure on Joseph, but like looking at your emotions, it's tough for you to basically say whatever you're saying right now. And I really appreciate that, you know, the bravery of coming out to mention all this, because I feel some people need to know that they're not alone, even when they think they are.
I had no intention to share this until I saw the suicidal cases, you know, rising and stuff like that. There were a lot of people privately messaging Maggie and I, like asking for help and stuff like that, and then actually made me realize that like probably me coming out would help a lot of people.
And I hope it does. And man, dude, like yeah, if I was there, I would give you a hug right now. But
hey, thanks, man.
Yeah, like we can't because, you know, of COVID. But I would have loved to do this in person, dude. Like both of us are vaccinated, and like you know, by calculations, everything's good. But to be honest, I feel that like even Maggie is going to listen to this episode and she's going to be so proud of you. I'm pretty sure, right? I mean, even without even listening to this episode, she's super, super proud of you. And I have to say that, you know, Maggie is such an amazing support system to you. Both of you are kind of like the best support system. It's so funny because both of you are just having fun, you know. That's how I see you guys online. I wish I had that fun with my wife, but she's very shy. She doesn't want to. Yeah,
I'm sure she is, but she's behind the camera.
Yeah, she is. You know, I wish I could show that to the world. She's actually a really cool, crazy person, but you know, she always likes to be very private and stuff. I've always for me, I've always known you from afar, and I knew that like I want to get to know Joseph a little bit more. It's kind of sucky to do this like over a Mamak session, which is like record like this. I wish like we could hang out more and kind of know you better.
Yeah, man, definitely.
Yeah, but like for you to come out and say these type of things and agreeing to do this podcast and you know, talking about your trauma and what you went through, and I really appreciate it. And I'm pretty sure someone out there, I hope someone takes away something from this. I'm sure they'll be able to appreciate as well. I think like what we're trying to say over here is it is okay for you to go and seek help. You don't need someone to tell you. You know, if you think you are going through some emotions and don't realize what's going, it's okay to call up a therapist, right? It's okay to call them up and just like walk in and they'll be able to. Well, do they actually diagnose you? What do they do?
So the psychologists, they get to diagnose as well.
Right.
But like for a better diagnosis, you should see a psychiatrist, especially if you have suicidal thoughts. I think one thing that I really want to share to people is that like you don't have to have like suicidal thoughts to see a therapist or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know? Like imagine yourself like your whole mental capacity or whatever, your resiliency as a cup, correct? And you feel water in a cup, right? You feel the water in a cup. And imagine that water that's being filled inside is the shit you had to go through. Yeah. Correct. You have a cup from there. You don't have to wait until the cup overflows to see a therapist.
Okay.
You can learn how to unfill that cup by taking away water on your own.
Got it.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And going to the therapist would actually help you enlarge that cup so that you can take more shit. So that's how resiliency, like mental resiliency, emotional resilience is built from there.
Right.
So therefore, if you really need help, just do it. There are a lot of ways you can do it. I'm sure there's a lot of like links being circulated on Instagram right now, and it's so accessible right now. So please, any of you out there who is going through shit that you don't know how to process, please just see someone.
Yeah, even though if it
may or may not be the best thing of your life.
Even if it's stress from work and you don't know how to handle the stress, maybe seeing a therapist might help too. It doesn't mean you're crazy. Maybe that therapist. Yeah, maybe the therapist has like, hey, you know what? Actually, you're being stressed out because of this. Maybe they can kind of pinpoint something you don't realize and help you. But again, who am I to say? Who am I to say? I don't know anything. I'm just trying to assume things. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people can, like, I feel that a lot of people go through their mental health kind of builds up from something. And actually, like the next question, so I know you mentioned this before, so like, but when is the right time to actually go and seek for help? I think this is the question that a lot of people would probably want to ask themselves.
Anytime.
The
day that you've decided that you want to improve yourself, to better yourself, anytime. You know, it's so accessible today that that you can find really good therapists in Malaysia because there are a lot of therapists right now that are being trained outside of Malaysia and they come back and they learn all these skills and stuff like that. It's so easily accessible today. It's just that like people are not really aware of it here.
Right. Yeah. You know, because like it's not widely promoted.
It's not. It's definitely not. I think it's also because of the education or society here. Like Asian societies just don't want to admit, you know, it's okay to admit.
It is. I think like in the Western country, people actually some of my friends in the Western world, right? They actually go for therapy. Not because they're going through a stress. I was like, they go to therapy like a regular doctor's checkup. you know what I mean?
They treat therapy like a medical illness. They don't treat it like some sort of taboo, you know, that you're not supposed to go to, you know.
They're like, a friend of mine, they just went like, you know, you go for your physical checkup, right? Your blood test, whatever, you know, your weight and whatever not, and this and that. Even that also, I'm damn scared to go because you always I'm damn scared to go for doctor's checkup because you always think like, oh shit, if I go for doctor's checkup, I'll get bad news. If I don't test, I will never know. So a friend of mine overseas went for the medical checkup, and it's a few stages because you have your physical, then after that you have your blood test and blah 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 blah. You have to run on a treadmill and stuff like that. Then he told me that I'm going for my mental health checkup. I'm like, oh, is there some? Then like for me it's like, I was so scared to ask the next question, and he looked at me. Then it's like, what? I was like, are you going through something? So no, I'm not going through anything. It's just I just want to go and see if I am going through anything because I don't know. Yeah,
Exactly,
and this person, this person is not going through anything. It's like he himself, it's a he. So has not gone through anything. They have never gone through trauma. Never gone through, but he's just like, okay, I'm just going through and just like chit chat, just have a chat, And if the person, if there's nothing wrong with me, there's nothing wrong with me. But if there's something, then at least you detect it, earlier on. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to encourage people to once in a while, if you think you're going through something, yeah, I know. Everybody keeps on saying, hey, if you're going through something, we are here for you. You can talk to me. But sometimes you can tell. Yeah, sometimes there are things you can tell your friends. There are some things you cannot.
Yes, exactly.
There are some things you can tell your
just
friends.
Know that, whatever you share to your therapist.
Yeah, whatever you share to your therapist, you were saying?
It's all confidential, so don't worry about it, guys.
Yeah. And it's I always believe that whatever you can tell your friends doesn't mean you can tell your parents. And whatever you can tell your parents doesn't mean you can tell, there's like you're gonna hit this road where there are only certain, you will think to yourself, oh yeah, there's only so much I can tell my parents, there's only so much I can tell my friends, and then you tell a bit here, a bit here, a bit here, a bit here, there's no solution, and that's where you're stuck. You're telling, but you're not receiving. Yeah. So. Yeah, Joseph, you know what? I think today's conversation I love today's conversation, to be honest. And
I really hope that you learned something. I don't know whether my experience will help people or not, but I'm just here to share mine.
Look, I feel it has. Like for me, listening to you talk and listening to you trying to express what you went through, I wouldn't want to say I understand what you go through, but for me, it's at least now I'm aware. I'm more aware. I'm more aware, and this is what people need to do. They need to, be more aware about their mental well-being. That's number one. And number two, like someone like Maggie will be more aware of someone and realize that, hey, maybe you need help, and then be more encouraging. And I think that's amazing. You have an amazing girlfriend. Better marry her soon, basket.
Actually, ever since I went to therapy, Maggie also went. But Maggie never had a problem at that time.
Right.
She didn't know. She felt okay until when she went there, and then they started processing her past and stuff like that. Why is she like this? Why does she feel like a certain way and stuff like that? And then it made her realize even more what kind of person she is, and that sort of really helped her to understand herself a little bit better. So if you understand yourself a little better, you tend to love yourself a little bit more. Correct?
Yes.
And yes, exactly. Right. Like you understand yourself and stuff. You appreciate all these things that you went through before. But I remember sharing Maggie the first time, and that I had PTSD, and it scared Maggie a lot.
Okay.
Because I told her, I said, the therapist said, it may get worse before it becomes better.
Okay.
And I told her, I said, look, I'm sorry that you had to go through this and stuff like that. And if you need space, you want to take a step back in this relationship, you can do it from there. And one thing that I will always remember is that Maggie said, let's do it together.
Wow.
We went through a lot.
Wow.
There were times where we just we moved out from each other. We were planning to not see each other for a while. We wanted to take a break and stuff. Want to break up. There were several times we wanted to break because we were just so tired, and mostly because of me, because how I would act whenever I get triggered.
Yeah.
And that is something that I will always appreciate, because she would always give me a space for me to get triggered, for me to show the Joseph inside, basically how I cope and stuff like that, which is self-harm and stuff like that from there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Whoa. This is such a
super tired, man.
This is a really heavy episode, but I appreciate it. Joseph, today's episode has been amazing. I just want to say I'm really happy for you, and I would like to assume that you feel much better now. I'm pretty sure.
I do.
And like, I feel like this goes out to the people listening. Remember that it is okay to go out and seek help. I'm gonna put the links all on the episode description. Just go there. I'm just gonna Google on my own. Okay, there's whatever I'm gonna find on Google. But if anybody else has any more to contribute, you can do so by just DMing me, like directly, and I'll just add to the list in this description. And Joseph, before we end this episode, do you want to say anything to our listeners listening today?
It's okay again to not be okay.
Yep.
If you need to take 2 steps back, that's fine. But make sure again you have a great support system that understands you, because that's really, really important.
Yeah.
And, I'm just very grateful that I have Maggie and my family and friends as well that understand what I had to go through. Yep, that's all.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure once they all know, they will always be there to support you. Come on, man. I mean, like, what? Yeah, they will always be there to support you. Everybody loves you, your family, your friends. You know, when you're going through something, everybody, it's 100% of the time. Everybody will always be there for you and always support you along the way. So, Joseph, dude, it's awesome to be having this conversation with you. This Mama Sessions.
Thank you so much for having me, man.
Yeah, and to those listening, get in touch with Joseph. He's a Jabroseph. He's got some very NFSW pictures on Instagram, as he has been banned from Instagram before. Some of his posts. That's hilarious. But you know what? Thank you so much for tuning in to today's show. If you want to stream us, you can do so on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts as well. Speak to you next time, guys.